Welcome back to the World Championship. You're getting a look at the beautiful city of Wuhan, host of the group stage here at Worlds. I'm Daniel Dracos, breaking down the action alongside Sam, Kobe Hartman, Kensler, and Zach Rusty Pie.
Super excited to share the rest of these games with you guys.
Heck yeah, man. I'm just pumped. It's World.
It's so hype already. Well, we're counting down towards the fight between GIGABYTE Marines and FNC, who are getting ready on stage as we speak. Let's check out the lineups. On the blue side, we have FNC. Of course, coming in as Europe's third seed. Really going to have to see what they can do, what they can bring to the table. And it's a lineup full of a mix of talent. We got Soaz in the top lane, Broxa in the jungle, Caps in the mid lane, and Reckless on AD carry support Jesus and their coach, Dylan Falco.
Honestly, a fantastic team. They played through the play-ins, but fighting from the red side in this game, their opponents, it's the GIGABYTE Marines, a team that the underdogs coming into this one. Top lane Archie, jungle Levi, mid lane Optimus, AD carry No Way, support Nevin, and their coach Tinikun.
And we know a lot of people are fans of this team simply because of their performance at MSI, but the GIGABYTE Marines, they actually did change up a lot of the roster. They still have the powerhouse coach, they still have Levi in the jungle, but they have made some support changes and some top lane changes that you guys can go over because they're fairly complicated.
So their support has been subbed out, Sia, and they've now brought in their substitute top laner, Nevin, to play support. And the team has come out and they said, hey, we think this is the best roster decision, so we have to think that they've got something special for us.
I mean, there's only expectations for some kind of cheese perhaps coming out from the GIGABYTE Marines. They're an innovative team. They're very good at creating new strategies. They're big on experience-based map play as well, so we may be looking towards something along those lines. There is still a big question mark there with this roster, though.
Of course, as strong as Levi looks, still looking like the consistent member of the team. We look at the top lane, Archie, former support, now playing top lane, potential weakness, and when you're going up against Soaz, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, Soaz has been so big for Fnatic. Not only is he this veteran that's been playing League of Legends since the very beginning and brings that veteran status to a world stage, but also just as an individual performer. You know, this guy can bring
hopes that he would change them. However, it looks like he hasn't changed them, so that's a heal and ignite Lulu in the bottom lane, guys.
Nevin is a top laner. He's looking to bring the same level of aggression down at the bottom.
He's got Thunderlord.
And this is the guy who played carries. Let's be real. This guy was not a son of the tank top lane meta. This man is about the carries. Looks like he wants to carry bot lane here.
All right, I'm just excited now. They delivered, right? We had these high expectations of surprise tactics from the GIGABYTE Marines. Now they have the Galio in the top lane, less common role for him, Nocturne coming out of the jungle, and now to top it all off, as you said, the heal ignite Lulu for bottom lane. Tristana's a good champion for all-inning and kind of going for those plays, so Fnatic will have to keep that in mind, because when they did stumble, you know, against YG a bit in the play-ins, some of those deaths from Reckless were from some unforced errors and not necessarily, you know, checking all the boxes in the bottom lane and having enough caution down there.
See what they can bring, how they can adapt. Fnatic coming into the blue side, GIGABYTE Marines on the red as we get into our fourth game of Worlds 2017 group stages. I think the spiciest pick ban so far, we can safely say.
And of course, all the questions still remain to be answered. We expected this, honestly, from the GIGABYTE Marines. As abstract as it is, we didn't know which direction they would go, but now we have to look at what are they executing with this. You know, what does the Nocturne provide? Why would a Lulu go for heal and ignite instead of having the flash? A lot of that, to me, screams bottom pressure, or wherever bottom is where the pressure is.
The other thing it screams to me, you know, kind of jungler instincts kick in. Whenever you see a champion without flash, you would want to gank that lane. So as much as, oh, ignite and heal for bottom lane, that's cool. They can try and focus bottom and, you know, win some skirmishes. That's actually also a vulnerability as well that you have to account for. So, you know, maybe Broxah here on Elise is a better early game jungle champion than Levi has, you know, with this Nocturne. He could just focus on bottom side.
Yeah, definitely the case. Broxah may go down there, and the other people that might also be going down there, Kobe, is the 4 teleports that are running around. Top lane as expected. Cap's choosing to have it instead of a healer and exhaust because he knows that a lot of pressure will be going towards these other lanes, especially with a champion like Galio.
And of course, there is no cleanse in the mid lane for Kassadin. So often something picked against the Elise. Maybe Broxah goes bottom lane for that no flash Lulu, but maybe Broxah can continue to impact mid in the same way he did against Hong Kong.
And here we go. Super powerful leash there for the Nocturne.
But who leashed Kobe?
They're trying to get him off the table. And lane swaps, we did say it in Champ Select. It's a possibility. Here we go. GIGABYTE Marine's going to do this again. Bring it back.
Brought it back in MSI. It's always been a controversial strategy, but they have made it work a couple of times. You can't doubt him 100%. Soaz already struggling. You can see.
It's another way of also getting around, we have a Lulu with no flash that would probably be targeted by the enemy Elise. Now we're going to lane swap. You know, that's not going to take into account a lot of Elise's strengths there in the early game and kind of dissuade them from going for that.
And now we're looking at a duo jungle, top laner and jungler working together to bring it back down to the bottom side of the map.
This is kicking it old school in a way, right? Knowing the Galio can't lane successfully, so they jungle together as you would expect. A big thing that we may see coming out of the Tristan and the Lulu is, okay, the level 1's a bit weak. Level 2's a big power spike, so at any moment they could group up, they could go back to the bottom lane. But speaking of grouping up and going to the bottom lane, it's a level 4 Levi.
Yeah, every little bit of experience they squeezed out of the jungle there. Every single last hit did go over to Levi, and then Archie here finally getting one in lane. But Fnatic still focusing on that bottom side. Broxah's here, Caps is on the way. Even though there are wards, it's going to be a party.
Oh, Levi, Archie holding on, TP coming in, Cocoon going to go wide. Broxah still pushing forward. Coming out yet, first blood dropping for Fnatic, and now pulling back. GIGABYTE Marines biting off more than they can chew.
They still have Elise here to continue the dive. Caps is actually going to go for it. Jesus doesn't
Still
go down.
alive, waiting on the root, but there's a TP coming in behind him.
Oh no.
Are they actually going to be able to grab? Caps needs to retreat. He's completely out of mana. Soaz running. Archie trying to taunt up. No one going to walk in range. They're trying to trade the aggro. It's an absolute mess here on the bottom side.
Remember that this mess is all due to 2 members topside for GIGABYTE Marines trying to take down the top turret as well. During this chase through the secondary turrets here, it's so early in the game though, you have to remember there's still reductions to champion damage. We rarely ever get to even bring this up because people are not on towers that much, but Tristana and Lulu trying to work their way through it.
And if you want a duo to be pushing a top lane out of turret, even if it does get damage reduction, it's a Tristana and a Lulu, frankly. They are just so good at it. The wave clear in particular is where they excel. So they will spend most of their time hitting that structure as we get to watch one of the more awkward level 1 dives.
All right, so they try to target the level 1 Galio, which is a good choice, but Broxah does miss the Cocoon there to start it all off. Then he doesn't actually have the tower aggro, so a little bit of awkward juggling there by Fnatic, and Jesus ends up having to flash forward there to try and, you know, not die to the turrets. And then the teleport here does come in as well to try and delay them and buy some more time for that pushing up top.
And let's be clear, that's a level 1 Maokai. He only has sapling.
Well, it's not a level 1 champion, and it's not a Maokai. Oh, they did it!
It is!
On the other side!
Oh no, Soaz! That's the ignite! Now we know why he takes it. No way he's gonna grab the kill. Broxah comes over the wall, Cocoon connects. Fnatic fire back.
I thought you were still talking about the one on bottom side with Archie teleporting in, but top side, Soaz goes down, and there's the extra goal going over.
Soaz, I'm pretty sure he just thought he had Elise a bit closer than where she was, and he was not level 1. He ticks over to 2, but he's already dead. Remember, that's a heal ignite. You're walking towards the Lulu. She doesn't need to flash in that situation at all.
Just pushing forward, Justin Hunt comes in. Parallel 5 minutes into the game!
He is 2 levels higher than anyone else on his team right now. Talk about power leveling there for Levi. Is able to get it off, but Caps wants to answer again. I don't know if they can push the minion wave. Minion has to wait for it.
Wall. Trying to make his way out. Tong comes out, but Reckless is still free hitting. Soaz comes in. Finally level 2. That's enough. Caps gets a kill for himself.
Welcome to World.
He's going to grab another one. He might be able to take down Reckless too. He's pushing forward. That's the double for the Nocturne.
And Fnatic are embracing the style a little bit here as continued roams from Caps do get them some kills, but Levi doesn't let them get out hands clean.
Not quite animal style, it's a bit more carefree than that, but so calculated from both of these teams. The level 6 strategy from the Nocturne, but the immediate reactions from Fnatic, they are keeping themselves as close as they can in this game. Caps is huge.
Yeah, but so is the Nocturne. We talked about unpredictable strategies. GIGABYTE Marines are delivering thus far.
And one of the things about Nocturne that people always criticize when you think of bringing him up to competitive play is that's a very binary champion, right? You are all in, you're just this death missile, and you try and go forward and kill your target. If this is the one that you're power leveling, and this is the one you're getting so far ahead, then you're definitely going to be able to kill your target. And early on in the game, you don't really have to worry about people, being separated like that.
Mid lane. Cap's going to get locked up. Optimus level 6 means he can chase down for free, but might not even need to. Rip walk forward, trying to find it. Flash in the auto will shut him down.
And brilliant tanking from Archie as well to ensure the kill is secure. And Caps dies. That was a 3-0 member, so it's even a shutdown for the GIGABYTE Marine.
Remember, this is why we kept highlighting mobility in Champion Select for this team. And remember, Optimus, the Kassadin, one of the biggest picks for him, one of his 2 most picked champions this entire year, and now he's the one getting kills. This is more scary for the late game, because Nocturne is one thing, but if the Kassadin starts to get rolling as well, then Fnatic are going to have more problems on their hands.
Pressure now on Fnatic to turn this back in their favor. We can see the gold lead coming in for GIGABYTE Marines. Only 7 minutes in, and they've got 1.5K in their favor. And they have to respect the potential here for this Nocturne to come out of anywhere.
Oh no, that's 3 levels. He's lucky. Okay, we're waiting for Nocturne's ultimate, so we have to take a second to appreciate the fact that he's level 7, still the highest on the Rift. The reason he got 7 was because of the assistance from Galio so early, and now he's power leveled his entire farm, his entire jungle through 2 waves to get that experience level to 6. We have to just quickly appreciate that fact before he gets his ultimate up again. I've no doubt we'll look for a target.
Now Archie doing what he can to hold on. It appears the pace of the game has slowed down, maybe until that Nocturne ult comes back, but still the pressure mounts.
Well, they are chunking Archie down, and Broxa's on the bottom half of the map, but he doesn't seem to be looking for a dive. Even though Archie is defensively warding here, focus seems to be mid.
Locking him up. That's going to be in trouble. Lulu going to be locked up. Paranoia comes in. Levi moving forward immediately. Caps just gets deleted. Soaz doing what he can to fight back. Going to get knocked back in the end by the Buster shot. Levi tanking blows. Can't afford to take that tower shot, but maybe he'll make it out. Goodbye, baby. Kitty Cat's bringing it home.
Gets in, attack, and he's able to get the kill there. Double buffs there for Soaz now. They were split. They went 2 different directions with 2 towers shooting them. No Way and Levi do split up, and they're cut down.
The biggest difference there, of course, is that Soaz is able to come towards the middle lane. He doesn't want any piece of 1v1ing Optimus in the side lane. Optimus with a teleport chooses not to use it. Big mistakes as well from Nevin, tanking for far too long.
Important once again, we talked about the shutdown onto Caps, but now a shutdown onto Levi as well. Crucial for Fnatic to come back with that tower. They've just about evened up the gold, and coming into 10 minutes, there's already 12 kills.
And we finally have a level 6 for the Galio, so the ultimate will be available for Archie now to join halfway across the map almost, and really get every player now involved in every single skirmish.
And of course, we just saw the level 6 from Soaz on top of that. He's not going to have an ultimate, but Archie, big trouble.
Move forward, the heal for movement speed. They're just chasing him down. The minion wave going to block any potential cocoons. He leaps right back into the thick of it. Archie is a man without fear, because here comes the Kassadin. But was it the right call? Looks like it will just be the disengage. Caps, though, man on a mission. In comes Reckless. That's the CC. Takes down Archie.
There's a reason that we evolved to have fear, though. It can be safe to have fear. All right, he ends up going back in, and they do give up a kill, but whenever everyone's collapsing like this, there's still a pushing Tristana. No Way's gonna get the tower in mid lane. Let me remind you that entire play started by Jez's a level 5 Karma, flashing and healing over the wall.
Here comes the teleport.
Oh, Dragon is gonna get secured by Fnatic. They're backing off in the pit. See if the CC wants to come in. All 4 members going to make it out safely. Nice escape.
Really good, clean play from Fnatic. Of course, it was a trade that wasn't ideal given the mid lane structure went down. Never the real MVP for having the polymorph onto Rise in that situation. And Levi, I have to mention, as they were fighting, just casually doing Gromp next to them. He knew the goal wasn't to fight at all.
And the most interesting thing here, when we talked about this matchup before the cast, John, we talked about Reckless. Maybe he'll find an edge. Reckless is nowhere to be seen. It's all about Jesus and Broxa everywhere on the map.
All right, they flash over the wall. They heal to get in range, and then Archie actually turns around on them, communicating with Optimus there to try and burst down Broxa. They actually get the repel out early, but there's Reckless on your screen, flashing forward and grabbing the kill.
And then, of course, the interrupt is going to secure them a tower. Levi gets his Gromp as well. God forbid he doesn't get that one. The GIGABYTE Marines are keeping in this very well.
And so much just goes out the window. We talk about lane matchups. If no one goes to the lane you expect them to, not a lot is going to work out as expected. And Fnatic have to keep matching this breakneck pace, GIGABYTE Marines.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're going to turn the game into this type of style, you kind of remove some of those weaknesses that we talked about where in lane you would expect to be down CS in these like standard matchups, right? They're kind of taking that equation out of this game. And if you remove the 1 extra turret, I mean, this game is basically tied here. So GIGABYTE Marines, they do have this extra goal lead right now with the extra turret that they have down. And you have the added room that you can try and create plays on. But Fnatic are actually very close in this.
And whilst it's only 1,000 gold, there is a notable item difference between 80 carries right now. And that is something that you'd say is substantial, can result in a play on the map if they're able to use it. Unfortunately, not this time. No Drake to be seen either. I might want to put them on the other side of the map.
This is also already the most kills in a game at Worlds, and we're only 12 minutes in.
At the pace we're going, I'm ready for 40, Kobe. I'm ready for an absolute bloodbath, and so as should be too, because Neven and No Way are here, and they're ready for a fight. Now we're going to finally back off on the bottom side. We turn our attention back to the mid lane. 4 members strong from Fnatic.
Yeah.
Optimus debating what to do here, but looks like Soaz is going to be
Here they
pressured
go.
out. They need to make a play in the mid lane as Soaz is doomed to fall here. Tries to twist his advance back. A little bit of healing. I don't think he's going to be able to save his way out of that one. No Way on a killing spree.
RNG's just the real MVP. Gives the crit for No Way as he's about to try and escape under the structure. The back and forth, the ebb and flow of fighting whenever Fnatic are visible.
All right, I want to try and get out in front of a play before all these things start breaking out now. And let's talk about ultimates that are available. Nocturne plus Galio. Both of them, it is a level 9 jungle and a level 7 Galio. Levels may be switched here, but that is a huge combo, especially with the possibility of casting and chasing people down. Now GIGABYTE Marines, with all the outer turrets down and all this extra territory to work with, they can turn this into much bigger and more coordinated fights than just the small skirmishes.
Optimus pushing in, not going to give away that Rift Herald for free. Looking to chase down Broxa, but in the middle of 3, in comes the Galio. Optimus out to safety.
Oh, no!
No! Rift Herald taking it away. Has Fnatic's back in that one. Now the Realm War forward. Archie going to look for the taunt, only going to connect on 2. He should be taken down as well. Reckless going to grab that kill.
Did we say coordinated? Just kidding. Optimus is going to go try and take on all challengers there. And he does not quite get out of swipe range from Shelly. Meanwhile, though, every time there is a fight on the other side, they're pushing turrets.
In comes the Paranoia, in comes Levi, and down goes Soaz.
Even No Way surviving. So right now they're playing the turret game. They're sieging. That was a very long Rift Herald to try and secure just because of Optimus throwing himself at them. You've got the Galio ultimate, the Nocturne combo, yes, but unfortunately the teleports weren't there and they were just trying to react.
Thinking about it, though, just theoretically, a Rift Herald could get you many gains in a game where it's so spread out and so many fights are breaking out across the map. This may be one of those times where we see multiple turrets taken by a Rift Herald. It's definitely going to be up to Fnatic to be able to try and use that effectively. Yeah. But Levi here is probably the most effective guy in the entire game so far.
Now looking for the 1v1 with Caps, does manage to spell shield. Fear comes out, red buff is ticking. Caps running for his life, but Levi should be able to burn this down. Duskbringer burning him out.
He does so much damage. That's the blue buff now for Levi. I thought he was out of mana, but he gets that back.
And now he's 2 levels above anyone in the entire game. Double buff Nocturne, ready to roll.
Guys, when we talk about teams playing around their carries, this is not exactly what I had in mind. Level 6 at 5 minutes, level 11 at 15. Levi is playing it out of his mind, and his team are setting him up for success.
You can tell it's been a pre-planned strategy as well. They work very hard around Levi. All of this preparation leading into Worlds, and this is one of their many strategies.
As to be careful here. Is locked up. Spell Shield's not going to save him from that. As soon as we praise him, he goes right back down.
They are pushing both lanes on either side of him, but Fnatic are able to collapse. They take down the extremely high-level jungler, and let me remind you, there are catch-up mechanics in this game. He is the highest level there, so they did get some bonuses as far as shutting down as well.
So much of this
There's
game.
that Herald.
Not quite what we expected, but we'll see. We talked about Herald potentially being a giant boon for Fnatic, a huge advantage. This looks like it could be its first turret taken down, but can they get any more off the back of this?
It looks like they're going to play this one calmly. Everyone was there from the GIGABYTE Marines. The jungler just comes back up as well, so Levi would be around if they committed to a second structure. I like the reservations from Fnatic this time. Take the free turret, take every free turret you can, even topside, because Fnatic are all recalling, no one knows that from the Marines. Caps is able to freely push.
Yep, they are able to get, looks like it'll be 2 here if he's able to finish. But, however, GIGABYTE Marines are pushing mid and bottom right now. Plus, there is a Mountain Drake available, which they could retreat to. So, looks like they're still going to get 1-for-1. If SOAS doesn't get them all.
SOAS is trying to start the fight off. Paranoia is available and used immediately, but it looks like Archie is the one who's going to get taken down. Wind War not going to have an effect. It will be the trade back as Levi just rips through SOAS.
A big trade in the end, but it was just the trade. The turret still went down, but that was a reactionary turret. GIGABYTE Marines still on the back foot.
Yeah, funniest thing here, pings go down from both teams. They both want to push. GIGABYTE Marines ping bottom there to try and force on that inhibitor turret, and Fnatic had previously pinged in the mid lane, but they're trying to answer now.
Realm War, Optimus trying to slow down with the Force Pulse. Brock red buff moving forward, level 10 has the red buff, slowed up. Fnatic can't push any more forward though, Optimus easy escape.
The GIGABYTE Marines are just keeping up pressure in at least 2 lanes plus jungle at almost all times right now. So even when Fnatic collapse and they get some extra kills and they win a skirmish, they aren't able to pressure afterwards.
And I'm really enjoying this strategy for them because you can see it was designed from level 1. The fact that they have a Kassadin right now as well, they can go towards the Lichbane, eventually can split push, gives them that something extra. And when all of these turrets are already gone, if they get any edge on the map, suddenly the inhibitor dies, everything continues. We get to watch once again as SOAS goes in.
So he's able to get off the ultimate here, snares multiple people, nice knockback as well. But with this Nocturne ultimate, they're able to answer back anyway. Optimus on that cast that you talked about, providing a bunch of extra burst damage in combination with Nocturne to take down the front line.
And we can see in the meantime, in live time, it will be the Mountain Drake going down, a boom for GIGABYTE Marines as they want to try to force that Baron. And we're getting close to that time. It's still only 18 minutes, but you have to feel like that is the objective that could very well break open this game. But at this rate, who really knows? We could see a 5v5 at any moment.
I mean, interestingly, the map is already open. So for what it's worth, the next big fight around the objective, if it's the Baron, which you would expect it to be if you're Fnatic, is going to be a hotly contested area. However, the GIGABYTE Marines, because they're focusing so hard on pushing, you're seeing that strategy in play. They may not want to go down there. They may force Fnatic to go to it.
And another benefit of this constant pushing from the GIGABYTE Marines and this pressure they're putting out, they're taking over the ward game as they do it. They control so much territory on this map that it becomes difficult for Fnatic to really reset up, some safe territory for themselves. Currently, those 2 control wards Fnatic have up on their blue quadrant of the jungle are lighting up the pathway towards the Baron. They desperately need to keep this quadrant of the jungle in their control so they don't lose out. It could even, with the pace of this game, you're talking about the 20-minute Baron coming up, it could go down at 21-30.
And once again, we talk about fear, we talk about the Nocturne, the Kassadin, potential at any moment for someone to come out of a bush and one-shot you in this game. The Dust played,
There's the bush.
now the Paranoia!
Oh, the Zhonya's.
Zhonya's play, though, paired perfectly. Cap's gonna make out to safety.
Yeah, the Paladin play there. Bubble Hearth there gets Caps out. And on the bottom side, Tristana going to do a similar jump away. But Jesus goes in.
Now comes the Galio ultimate. We'll see how many knockups he's going to get. Just one. Now trying to find the taunt onto Reckless, but a nice sidestep comes through. Demon wants to make it a safety. Archie pushing forward. Optimus is in the middle of the team. That's a fed cast, and now Reckless is in trouble. No way, has no fear. And Justice is going to get dropped down. He's looking for a zone. He flashes forward. That's going to be the shutdown and the triple.
3 big kills, and they are still pushing on the bottom side of the rift.
And all of them onto No Way there. The 5-kill Tristana taking down the inhibitor turret.
TP coming in. GIGABYTE Marines doubling down. They got an advantage and they want to push it home. FNC on the back foot. Vietnam coming up big on the world stage.
And that's incredible as a reactionary play. Once again, the GIGABYTE Marines through vision control, through their ability to rotate and coordinate as a team, you're starting to see that come to fruition.
And they just have no hesitation when collapsing. Even if a member goes down in these fights, they still go for the re-engage. They still say, we're going to get kills back afterwards. This is why, again, we highlight so often with these guys, mobility from Champion Select. Here comes the Galio ultimate. Here comes from mid lane. Cassidon's teleporting in as well. They immediately turn this around. Even though Lulu, with no flash, was caught out, they're able to turn it around so quickly and work through the tank line.
Yeah, Soaz, not really a big threat with his just Spirit Visage against an AD carry, even though both top laners are behind. Galio's utility with damage reduction and being able to provide it comes up tops.
Yeah, no way here. We have to highlight this guy for the GIGABYTE Marines. When he was added to the team, they absolutely dominated the entire region so well. And he was highly sought after for quite a long time by the team. See what they can do now, though, because Optimus is on a control ward in mid lane, and it looks like he's got some fancy ideas. Nocturne Ultimate is available, remember.
Have to be safe. Karma can maybe save one person, but even the shielding might not be enough in the face of so many strong members with so much mobility.
All right, so now we have to take a look at this from Fnatic's point of view, because this is the difficult part, right? We're seeing the whole map, and we're seeing GIGABYTE Marines kind of overwhelm everything, but it's Fnatic that need to come up with a stabilizing game plan.
Yeah.
They have the more stable team comp that they can try and set up.
And let's be clear here, when we talk about Fnatic, if anyone was going to be able to take down an unconventional, hyper-aggressive style, we thought it would be the European representative who played this style for the first half of their split, who found success in this style, but now they look lost in the face of GIGABYTE Marines. We have to wonder, where is this play going to come from? Who is going to step up on Fnatic?
And that's the thing, they've revolutionized what that style looks like. Fnatic can never be prepared for how they played out the 1 to 6 stage for a Nocturne and how early he ticks over to 6 in ganks. That's a very hard thing to get used to, but that's continued through the rest of the game. And you're right, ultimately, Fnatic, they need to try and find a way to slow this game down, but to slow it down against the team that's constantly pressuring you is really hard.
Gonna have to be now, make or break on this Baron, 4,000 health.
Pushing in, dropping lower, Paranoia, blocking vision into the pit. They can't even see it happen. The Icon gonna let him know it came through, but Caps is just gonna get burned through immediately. Making the Paladin play to make it out once again. Soaz leaping forward. Reckless still untouched on the backside, but the tanks are already dropping. Fnatic is getting routed. The Baron dropping in the favor of GIGABYTE Marines. They'll take a Cat Pajama Man anyway on the back half.
And now they've got minions in bottom side as well that are already on the Nexus turrets. Optimus is chasing Fnatic and trying to delay their backs as they actually circle around, and they were looking to cut off minions maybe, but not going to be the case.
Optimus might be cleaned up, but the rest of the team is moving into the base. Galio comes down. Maybe he can stop the backs as well. No way is pushing to the base.
He's looking to end the game right now. If he can stop the teleports, it's over.
TP goes through. Doesn't look like it's going to get canceled. It's Caps versus the world at the moment. The rest of Fnatic caught in a fight. No way versus Caps. One battle to decide the game, but Broxa is here for backup, and GIGABYTE Marines are going to have to bare their teeth and wait for a few more minutes.
Meanwhile, if you look at the mini-map there, they were still... Oh,
no way, no fear! Moving in, Caps! Ooh, gets taken back. Maokai pushing in. Broxa going to get tucked down as well. There's not enough damage to kill the Tristana. No way is legendary! But still, GIGABYTE Marines, they're not quite strong enough to end the game. Soaz, though, just feeding fuel into the fire. Reckless is here with the double drops. That's the triple. He's looking for the quadra. Reckless gets cut down as well. Penta could come out. No way is hungry for it. The team is there. That's it.
It's a legendary 11-kill Tristana, and Optimus takes the Penta. GIGABYTE Marines are going to take the game.
GIGABYTE Marines taking down the third seed from Europe. A first blow for Vietnam.
What a performance from the GIGABYTE Marines. From the beginning of the game to the very end, they had a plan, and they executed on that strategy. Fnatic left not knowing what to do.
Woo. Yeah, you said it, Kobe. Woo. An insanely high-paced game, and it's been breakneck pace in our first three. This one just topping up. GIGABYTE Marines say, hey, you think you can play a fast game? We can do one better. And still, I think we're never prepared for what GIGABYTE Marines bring to the table. As much as we prep, as much as we talk about imagination, they always seem to think of something that just feels impossible to anybody else.
They make breaking the meta look so good.
And
almost so easy at the same time. There were some hiccups, but ultimately the strategy was sound. And we came into this game and we were like, is it an upset if the Gigabyte Marines can beat Fnatic? I'm not sure it is an upset in the end, and it might be an upset that Fnatic lost.
I can guarantee European fans are upset, Rusty. That's about all I can guarantee at this stage. But for the GPL, for Vietnam, a fantastic first victory and well-earned. Insane playmaking, and even after the crazy stages in the early game left, even when they said no to a laning phase and took us straight into fights, they kept it up. They kept the pace going. They kept pushing Fnatic to try to respond, and Fnatic got a few strikes back, but Gigabyte Marines felt like they're always one step ahead.
This is the exact type of game why Gigabyte Marines have so many fans worldwide, and why teams are so scared of them in best-of-1 scenarios.
Yeah, they were able to revolutionize almost in just one game.
Definitely the case. Well, for more on how Gigabyte Marines took that game, let's get some thoughts from our analysts.
Thank you very much. Guys, you know, hey, Gigabyte Marines getting their first game victory here in the group stages. How can you not fall in love with this team?
This is my favorite game of League of Legends of like ever. This was so good from start to finish. What, lane swap, heal, ignite Lulu, we had the Nocturne jungle.
Pretty sure by the end of that game, like Reckless's dad was cheering for Gigabyte Marines.
It was just insane, and honestly, the pace of it, the early pan, we use the word cheese as analysts pretty liberally, right? It could be Ardent Sensor Rush with Relic Shield back when I saw that for the first time. A Freak of Freaks did it early in the season. It looked pretty cheesy, but the type of cheese we're getting to, like premium aged camembert when we're talking about the sort of things we're seeing here.
This is just the new meta.
That's what I have to turn to Frost here, because I thought you had a good point in terms of the style that Gigabytes plays, where, you know, most people would want to refer to the chaotic style as a team that doesn't understand how to play the game. This is actually chaos that's orchestrated.
Refined.
They know exactly what they're doing. So normally when casters use the phrase chaos style, it's come a meme. It pretty much means that you don't know what you're doing, that you're just kind of making a bunch of mistakes and stumbling your way through it. No, GAM know exactly. I talked very extensively with their coach. He says, we play standard League of Legends, we're just going to lose. Our players aren't good enough on an international stage. We need to break the standard. We need to force them to interact in situations which they have no idea what's coming at them, and that's where they thrive.
And I think the biggest question for me is, how many of these tricks do you have up your sleeve, right? Because this worked against Fnatic, and it was awesome. This was probably the most fun game I've ever seen at Worlds, right? But if this is the only type of cheese or type of strategy that they have, then you can answer that very easily with a couple bans, right? The question becomes, can they have 5, 6, 7, 8 strategies like this to continue through groups?
The beautiful thing is about the fundamentals of which they build or spread this Gouda over their cracker. So the thing is this is pretty much the Ziggs composition reimagined. It's not Ziggs though this time, it's Tristana, but the same concept is there. It's about pushing down these towers, creating skirmishes, using the global gold that you get from the towers to then run over in these skirmishes.
Right, exactly. Starting off hot with the lane swap, putting Galio next to the Nocturne, and essentially power leveling the jungler to level 6. That's where we saw so much of the advantage come for Gigabyte Marines in the bot lane as soon as he hits level 6, making work of that ultimate, picking up a double kill. This will be your Acer Predator replay
and you
for
say,
this game.
And you say as soon, Dash, but as soon was 5 minutes 10. A level 6 at 5 minutes 10 is probably the earliest at Worlds ever. Yeah. That's just an insane mark to hit due to 7 minutes into the game. But he hit 6. You see Galio going in. And when we were in the draft, Azale, we talked about top lane Galio, why not a mid lane Galio? But of course he was just there for wave clear from level 1. Why the heal ignite? It worked very well when they were turret diving, healing to get an extra turret shot, and igniting SOAS level 1 after all the carnage. So the fact that the draft, they played to the win conditions of just the most insane draft is why they're so fun to watch.
And
yeah, I mean, I think it's so well planned out, right? This is not just, oh, let's pick Nocturne, we'll do heal ignite, we'll see how it goes. This is a well-orchestrated lane swap. This was pre-planning. This was excellent use of actually power leveling your Nocturne, as you were saying, you know, leashing, what, 5 camps as the Galio, as well as a super leash from the bot lane. Like, this was all pre-planned. This was all very well orchestrated in the early game. Yes, there was some crazy stuff later on and some mistakes, certainly, coming out from both sides. To me, SOAS looks super, super tilted this game, understandably so, but this is awesome. This is fun to see.
And again, it's built off those fundamentals. The experience of the camps is so valuable to Gigabyte Marines. Levi has some incredible farming records. SOFM, kind of the other prodigy that came out of this exact same coach, this exact same region, does a very similar style. Watch how both these junglers manipulate the experience or just power farm through it to find these advantages.
And remember, this is the same group with Longzhu, and we said, okay, they play around top side traditionally. Didn't do that here. when we talked about the Gigabyte Marines, we say they play around Levi. They try to break the meta around their insanely skilled jungler. They did that here again. He got Warrior in chat off that 5-minute 10 level 6 gank. And he is still a superstar. Their game plan can be emulated.
Now, I know that Levi is like the big name, and obviously on the Nocturne, he's who we're looking at, but I do want to give a lot of credit to No Way. Now,
Yes.
No Way, yes.
Let's talk about this guy.
This guy is the next big ADC that's coming out of Vietnam from the coach's mouth himself. He says this guy's going to be the next SOFM, and that's impressive when you already have Levi kind of sitting on your roster. So you didn't get to see him quite so flashy in the early game, but he was the guy pushing towers. He was the guy, you know, going for that pentakill. Scumbag Optimus had to deny him there, but he's also kind of the next big spotlight to really shine on GAM.
Final thoughts, Azale.
I think you also have to really look what this means in the context of the group, right? You know, we heard Ole talk about if you get one win off Longzhu, that could mean getting second in the groups. Well, if you lose once to Gigabyte, that could mean getting third.
Well, very much so. To get our thoughts, or rather his thoughts, on how the game played out, let's hear from the victorious jungler of the Gigabyte Marines.
Thank you very much, guys, and I'm very excited to talk to Levi again, because what a game that was. And Levi, well, we know you're an incredible jungler, we know you're an incredible Lee Sin, we know you're a good Kha'Zix, but Nocturne, talk to me about the strategy. Did you come up with the pick, and what is the most important thing about playing Nocturne in a game like this?
Thì chúc mừng em chiến thắng ha. Thì được biết là em rất là nổi tiếng với vị tướng như Lee Sin rồi này nọ kia, nhưng mà chưa bao giờ nghe em đánh Nocturne cả. Thì tại sao em biết Nocturne vậy?
Thực sự thì quân bài này là do Archie là người top của đội em đã phát hiện ra vị tướng Nocturne này và đã bảo với mọi người là thử nghiệm nó, và mọi người thấy vị tướng này khá là mạnh nên đã đem vào sử dụng.
Yeah, so actually this strategy actually came from Archie. Archie was the one that discovered this, and then we tested it and it worked.
Yeah, it did work. You crushed them. And when you talk about the team and having the influence on the meta picks and this and that, but I saw something that wasn't so good in team play. Optimus stole the Penta away from Noe in the game at Worlds. What was the calling like? Was he angry at that, or was it all good because you guys just won the game after?
Thì nói một chút về cái combat cuối cùng ha. Combat cuối cùng thì tự nhiên là mấy em tới được Penta cho No Way rồi, nhưng mà Optimus lại nhảy vào cướp mất. Thì em nghĩ sao về điều này?
Về tình huống này thì em nghĩ là nếu em có cơ hội thì em cũng sẽ cướp Penta từ No Way.
He said if about this specifically, if I had the chance, I would stole it as well.
Well, it's all fun and games there, but in the context of the World Championship, that is one win, a very important win in this group. We remember you guys from MSI as being a super aggressive team with the new picks, and we see that that is still the case. But what has changed about the Marines coming into this tournament?
Thì hồi MSI hồi xưa thì team mình được biết là cái lối đánh rất là táo bạo, rất là lạ, đúng không? Thì kỳ này có vẻ như là không có gì thay đổi cả, nhưng mà em có nghĩ là GAM hiện tại và GAM hồi đó có khác nhau gì không?
Em nghĩ là GAM hiện tại so với GAM hồi MSI thì là một phiên bản nâng cấp lên và hoàn thiện hơn, bởi những gì bọn em đã thể hiện thì sẽ làm cho mọi người bất ngờ hơn.
Yeah, so I think this current GAM is the upgraded version of the old GAM, and then we will show more surprise for you guys.
Well, you guys already got 3 wins at MSI. You could just make it to the quarterfinal if you keep playing like this. Do you think it's an advantage, the fact that you guys play so fearless and so aggressive in this best of one scenario?
Em nghĩ là nếu mà em cứ tiếp tục đánh lối đánh táo bạo như vậy thì cái đó có thể là lợi thế cho em hay không?
Em nghĩ bọn em đã chuẩn bị khá là kỹ càng trước khi chuẩn bị cái lối đánh vậy. Bọn em đã trình diễn cho mọi người một lối đánh táo bạo trước mặt mọi người, nhưng mà bọn em nghĩ là an toàn cho bọn em.
So it's like we prepare a lot of strategy. Even though you guys think this is like reckless, it's like aggressive, I think this is safe for us.
This is safe for the Gigabyte Marines. Well, I can't wait to see what you guys bring. Thank you very much. Super interesting matchup, and we have more action coming up after the break. We'll see who gets clapped in SKT versus Cloud9 coming up right after this.
Oh, we have new pictures. Wow, Broxa.
So sexy.
Oh, Broxa.
TP coming in. Who's going to go wide? Brox is still pushing forward. Coming out, yeah, first blood dropping for Fnatic.
Doesn't need to flash in that situation at all.
Just pushing forward, just punch comes in. Paranoia, 5 minutes into the game! Locking him up, that's going to be in trouble. Lulu going to be locked up. Paranoia comes in, Levi moving forward immediately. Caps just gets deleted. No Way has no fear, and Justice is going to get dropped down. He's looking for the throw. He flashes forward. That's going to be the shutdown and the triple. Double drops, that's the triple. He's looking for the quadra. Reckless gets clapped down as well. Penta could come out. No Way is hungry for it. The team is there.